Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. Direct Benefit Transfer Initiative has saved 3.48 lakh crore rupees till 2024. Electronic surveillance system will cover entire Pakistan border in 4 years, says Home Minister. Cruise operations formally commenced from the Mumbai International Cruise Terminal. World's first particulate emission trading market in Gujarat cut pollutants by 20 to 30%. Urban Transformation in Asia and the Pacific report released by SCAP. In our first news for the day, we look at a significant update on India's Direct Benefit Transfer or DBT initiative, a major reform in the country's welfare delivery system. According to a recently released policy paper titled A Quantitative Assessment of India's DBT System, the DBT initiative has saved a staggering 3.48 lakh crore rupees till the year 2024. Now, let's take a closer look at some of the key findings from this assessment. To begin with, the coverage of beneficiaries has seen a remarkable growth, increasing by 16 times. This directly translates to improved welfare delivery and better reach to the intended population. Moving on to the efficiency aspect, the Welfare Efficiency Index or WEI, which measures the impact of the DBT system, has shown a significant rise. From just 0.32 in 2014, it has gone up to 0.91 in 2023. Now, what drives the WEI? It is primarily influenced by DBT savings, which hold 50% weight, followed by subsidy reduction with 30% and beneficiary growth at 20% weight. The share of subsidies in total expenditure has reduced notably, from 16% in the pre-2013 period to just 9% in the financial year 2023-24. For example, food subsidies alone have seen a saving of 1.85 lakh crore rupees through the Aadhaar-linked public distribution system. Now, stepping back a bit, let's understand what the DBT initiative is all about. Launched in 2013, the DBT initiative aimed at reforming the government's delivery mechanisms. It sought to re-engineer existing welfare schemes, ensure accurate targeting of beneficiaries, and significantly reduce duplication and fraud. Initially, it was implemented under the Planning Commission, but today it comes under the Cabinet Secretariat. And before we wrap up, here are some of the key features of DBT you should know. Aadhaar is not mandatory in DBT schemes, although it is preferred. The JAM Trinity serves as the key enabler of the system. The JAM Trinity refers to the integration of three key components: Jan Dhan bank accounts, Aadhaar unique ID numbers, and mobile phones. This trio forms the backbone of the direct benefit transfer system in India. Also, the electronic payment framework is applicable to all central sector and centrally sponsored schemes across the board.
Moving ahead, India is all set to strengthen its border security like never before. According to the Home Minister, an electronic surveillance system will cover the entire Pakistan border within the next 4 years. The move aims to counter cross-border infiltration, smuggling of narcotics, and the circulation of fake currency from across the border. Now, you might be wondering, how exactly will this be achieved? Let's take a look at some of the key surveillance technologies being deployed by India. To begin with, laser walls and laser fencing are being used. These systems rely on infrared and laser beam intrusion detection to guard areas where setting up physical fencing is difficult. In addition to this, India is working on developing 2 models of electronic surveillance systems. These systems will integrate sensors, networks, intelligence inputs, and command control solutions to detect infiltrators and underground tunnels. And that's not all. A layered security system is also being put in place. This includes a 3-tier fencing structure, flood lightning, sensors, thermal imagers, and manual patrolling to ensure comprehensive vigilance. Moving forward, India is also employing other advanced tools such as drones and tunnel detection technology. Long-range reconnaissance and observation systems or LOROS are being used for real-time video imagery, adding yet another dimension to surveillance efforts. Now, let's connect this to the broader initiatives taken by India for border security. First, the Comprehensive Integrated Border Management System or CIBMS, launched in 2016, aims to improve situational awareness through the integration of technology and intelligence. especially along the India-Pakistan and India-Bangladesh borders. Next comes the Border Infrastructure and Management Scheme, a central sector scheme focused on implementing essential infrastructure projects like border fencing and floodlights. And finally, strategic road development under the Bharatmala Pariyojana and the Vibrant Villages program are also contributing towards supporting the border population and ensuring last-mile connectivity in sensitive areas. So, as India ramps up efforts to secure its borders, these technologies and initiatives mark a decisive step toward enhancing national security.
Next, we look at an exciting update in India's journey towards becoming a global cruise tourism hub. Cruise operations have formally commenced from the Mumbai International Cruise Terminal or MICT, which is now India's largest world-class cruise terminal. This major development is part of the broader Cruise Bharat mission launched in 2024. Let's dive deeper into what the Cruise Bharat mission is all about. The mission aims to realize India's vision of becoming a global hub for cruise tourism and to promote the country as a leading international cruise destination. To achieve this, the mission has set some ambitious targets. It plans to double the cruise passenger traffic within 5 years, that is, by 2029. And increase the number of cruise calls from 254 in 2024 to 500 by the year 2030. Now, how will this be implemented? The Cruise Bharat mission is set to roll out in 3 phases, spanning from 2024 to 2029. And when it comes to cruise experiences, the mission focuses on 3 key segments: the ocean and harbour cruise segment, the river and inland cruise segment, and the island cruise segment. Switching gears now to other initiatives that are complementing this mission, the Maritime India Vision 2030 is one such strategic effort, aimed at establishing India as a significant player in the global cruise market. Adding to this momentum is river cruise tourism, where the Inland Waterways Authority of India or IWAI is playing a pivotal role in promoting it. Cruises are already operating along major waterways, including the rivers Ganga and Brahmaputra, and iconic houseboats continue to attract visitors to the serene backwaters of Alappuzha in Kerala. A shining example of this effort is the MV Ganga Vilas, the world's longest river cruise, which was launched in 2023. The factors facilitating cruise tourism in India include the presence of 12 major and 200 minor ports along the country's extensive 7,500 km coastline. Additionally, India boasts a network of over 20,000 kilometers of navigable waterways spread across 110 routes. The presence of approximately 1,300 islands along the coastline and rivers further enhances the potential for cruise tourism development in the country. In a groundbreaking move to tackle industrial pollution, Surat in Gujarat launched the world's first particulate emission trading market in 2019. This innovative system, known as the Surat Emission Trading Scheme or ETS, has significantly reduced particulate matter emissions by 20 to 30%. According to a recent study, the scheme not only lowered emissions but also led to a reduction in pollution abatement costs by over 10%. Moreover, compliance with environmental laws among participating industries saw a marked improvement, highlighting the effectiveness of the program. Let's dive into the details. The ETS holds global significance as it is the first market-based trading system for particulate matter emissions and also represents India's first pollution trading initiative. The concept of emissions trading is not new, having originated in the United States to control sulfur dioxide emissions. The objective is to curb air pollution in accordance with the polluters pay principle. The working mechanism of the Surat ETS is based on a market-linked cap and trade system. The process begins with the government setting a cap on the total amount of air pollution emissions allowed. This cap is then broken down into emission allowances, which are allocated to various polluting industries. Once these allowances are distributed, trading among polluters begins. Industries that emit more than their allocated allowances must purchase additional permits from those that emit less than their allowances, creating a marketplace for pollution rights. This encourages companies to reduce their emissions in order to sell surplus allowances for profit. Company A, which emits below its cap, sells its extra permits to Company B, which exceeds its limits and needs to buy more permits to comply. The price of these permits is determined by market forces, depending on supply and demand, ensuring economic efficiency. This system upholds a polluter pays principle, making sure that those who pollute more bear the cost, while rewarding cleaner production practices. This approach, which has already been successfully implemented in Europe for controlling greenhouse gas emissions and in China for managing carbon emissions. The ETS relies on continuous emissions monitoring systems, devices installed at industrial units for monitoring. The trading of emission permits takes place on a dedicated platform developed by the National Commodities and Derivatives Exchange e-markets or NEML. Additionally, participating industries are required to submit an environmental damage compensation, the amount of which varies based on the size and capacity of the unit. Overall, the success of Surat's emission trading scheme not only sets a precedent for other Indian cities, but also offers a replicable model for tackling industrial pollution across the globe.
Moving ahead, urban centers in Asia and the Pacific are at a critical juncture. A new report released by the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, or ESCAP, has warned that the region's megacities face an increasingly uncertain future. Let's start with a striking fact. The report highlights that 7 of the 10 most populous cities in the world are in Asia. Leading this list are Tokyo, Delhi, Shanghai, and Dhaka. Now, what are the key challenges identified in this report? One major concern is skyrocketing temperatures. This rise is putting immense pressure on already stretched infrastructure and healthcare systems. Closely linked to this is the urban heat island effect, where cities become significantly hotter than surrounding rural areas. The impact is especially severe for vulnerable groups like the elderly and the poor. Another challenge is the rapidly aging population. By 2050, the number of older persons in Asia and the Pacific is projected to reach 1.3 billion, nearly double the number in 2024. Alongside this, the expansion of informal settlements is becoming more prominent. With housing prices surging and wages stagnating, the growth of slums is on the rise. So, what does ESCAP recommend in response to these challenges? First, the report calls for enhanced regional cooperation, sharing knowledge and best practices among cities to enable them to act as catalysts for regional leadership. It also stresses the need to adopt integrated national urban policies. This will bolster multi-level governance and ensure that urban development supports national economic, social, and environmental goals. Another recommendation is to develop subnational and local capacities. The aim is to collect, interpret, and use disaggregated data effectively for localizing the sustainable development goals. Additionally, an innovative approach to urban financing is suggested. This includes strengthening municipal own source revenue collection, particularly through property tax reforms. Finally, the report emphasizes the need to bolster planning capabilities. This will help cities respond better to demographic changes, such as population aging, youth out-migration, and international migration. Now, before we wrap up, here's a quick look at ESCAP itself. ESCAP is one of the 5 regional commissions of the United Nations. It was established in 1947 as the Economic Commission for Asia and the Far East, or ECAFE, and was renamed in 1976. Headquartered in Bangkok, Thailand, ESCAP works to promote cooperation among its 53 member states, including India and 9 associate members, with the aim of finding solutions to sustainable development challenges. As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. The government's debt is being managed well and will not lead to fiscal slippage, the Union Finance Minister stated recently. Fiscal slippage is a situation where a government's actual fiscal performance deviates from its planned or targeted fiscal targets, usually resulting in higher than expected budget deficits, increased public debt, or a combination of both. The Reserve Bank of India has come up with new guidelines regarding LCR. RBI also said that banks need to assign a low runoff factor on retail deposits, Runoff factor refers to the percentage of deposits that could be withdrawn by depositors in a stress scenario. The Government of India imposed 12% safeguard duty on certain steel products. Safeguard duty is a form of safeguard measure available to World Trade Organization member countries. They are imposed to provide a level playing field to domestic players against sudden and significant increase in imports of a product. Recently, the Khadi and Village Industries or KVIC recorded its highest ever turnout of Rs 1,70,000 crores. KVIC played a key role in it. KVIC is a statutory body established under the Khadi and Village Industries Commission Act of 1956. China is using South China Sea-style salami slicing tricks in the Yellow Sea to capture new territory. The term salami slicing was coined by Stalinist dictator Mateusz Rakosi. It is a divide-and-conquer tactic used to dominate opposition territory piece by piece. Portion Tracker application receives the Prime Minister's Award for Excellence in Public Administration 2024. Portion Tracker is a mobile-based application for dynamic identification for stunting, wasting, and underweight prevalence among children and last-mile tracking of nutrition service delivery. The International Center for Integrated Mountain Development released the Snow Update Report. One of the key findings of the report is that the Hindu Kush Himalaya region experienced its third consecutive below normal snow year in 2025. According to a study, climate change could be resulting in higher levels of arsenic in rice, potentially increasing lifetime cancer and health risks. Arsenic is a natural component of the Earth's crust and is widely distributed throughout the environment in the air, water, and land. Recently, scientists have captured the first ever image of colossal squid in the southern Atlantic Ocean. The first report of a colossal squid was in 1925 when the head and arms were discovered in a sperm whale's stomach. The Energy and Resources Institute scientists claim that its nanosulfur gives yield enhancement similar to DMH11 using conventional mustard varieties. DMH11 is the genetically modified mustard.
Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description.